my quarterly goals video for fourth quarter of 2022, I mentioned that one of my goals was to be 3 months of thrifty, and I promised you a more in-depth look into what that means and what I'm doing to save money. This is that video. Welcome to my explanation of 3 months of thrifty. Why am I doing it? What am I doing? What am I scrimping on and being frugal about, and what am I not? All of the information is right here. Before we dive in though, hello, my name is Brianna. I am the diva behind Diva and the Divine and your healthy homemaker, sharing my journey through life using health, habits, happiness, and homemaking to build the life that I want. 3 months of thrifty. Why am I doing 3 months of thrifty? Well, truth be told, I go through these phases, these ebbs and flows of wanting to purchase and obtain all of the things and wanting to purge and minimalize all of the things. And I'm currently at this weird, like, clashing, merging of those two attitudes where I want to buy all of the things, but I also don't want anything else around. And I don't know how to marry those two things. Like, I don't need anything, but there's some sort of impulse in me that's like, but you want to buy all the food things, but you want to buy all the clothes even though you don't need any and shouldn't be clothes shopping right now. And then on the flip side, I'm like, but I want to get rid of all the things. It's this weird sort of clashing that I'm trying to figure out how to balance. And so in my logical brain, the balance was cut off the spending. Just stop. Don't allow yourself to do anymore, because then it takes this side of things, the side that wants to continuously obtain, and denies it and turns it away, and it's like, you know what? You don't exist right now. So we can focus over here on the purging, decluttering, getting rid of, and minimalizing side of things. I just want to take a general break from spending. I am at a point where I don't need anything. I have clothes, I have makeup, I have fun things, I have toys, I have food, I have whatever I need. I don't need for anything. I'm not lacking anywhere, which is such a blessing to be able to say, and I understand that. But because I don't need anything, and the fact that this economy has us in this crazy inflation thing, prices everywhere are going up, it's the right time for me to stop any sort of frivolous spending and focus truly on what our needs are instead of what sort of things could I have but not necessarily need them. Since the fourth quarter is the quarter that not only Christmas time ends up in, but my birthday is also in, there is little to no reason for me to be buying things for myself, to be completely honest. So I've just decided that I'm not gonna. We're done. We're done with the unnecessary spending. But there are a couple of guidelines and rules. It's not me pulling the purse strings so tightly that I can't go out and get things that I need, that I can't go out and get things if I run out of them. That's not what I'm doing here, but I am very much an impulsive shopper. I'm a very impulsive shopper. From walking down the candy aisle in Target and being like, oh, this is new, let's buy these 5 things, or seeing that something is on sale and so buying one in every flavor, or from clothing sales, every time Grace and Lace tells me that there's a discount or a mystery bag or whatever, I need to have it, or there's this new launch from this new makeup or skincare thing, I have to have it, or new planner stuff. Y'all, the planner stuff has gotten me for years and years and years. And so I'm very impulsive when it comes to my purchasing power, and I need to not be doing that right now. So if I run out of something that I need and use regularly, yes, I'm going to go and replenish it. That is not something that's off limits, but it's just the frivolous spending that is off limits here. So let's talk a little bit about what some of the things I'm giving up are. The first thing that I have kind of unintentionally, but then very intentionally gave up in Q4 was my facials. I haven't had an appointment with my facialist in several months now, and I usually see her every month or every 6 weeks. And the reality is inflation got her too, and this is not a fault of her own, but her prices have gone up. I think she's had at least 2 price hikes since I last saw her. And so the number is getting increasingly higher and higher and higher. And I was just like, I don't know that if at this point, I'm feeling comfortable with going and spending this amount of money every 6 weeks. And I do want to get back into it, but just again, where the economy is, where some of our potential home projects might be, and just other financial goals that we have, I'm like, I'm not feeling quite right about spending on the facials right now. And now maybe the answer is in 2023, once holiday travel and stuff is over, maybe I go to like every 2 months, or like just spread out the amount of time, because the reality is the facials have been treating me really well. But at the same time, part of me, and I know that this is a me problem, part of me feels guilty about spending that kind of money. Even though it's something that I really enjoy and does my skin good, I know that there are more productive things that I could be using with my money, especially since, or could be doing with my money rather, especially since I have the ability to do 80 to 90% of what my facialist does at home. So if I can be a little bit more intentional about my skincare routine and giving myself at-home facials, I can make the distance between appointments longer and not spend that money unnecessarily. The next thing I'm giving up is new protein powders, bars, or flavors of things that already exist in my house. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy protein powders, and actually if you've been watching my channel for a while, you've seen that I actually just replenished our Be Well by Kelly protein powder. That was a very specific instance because this really expensive brand went on sale at a pretty significant discount, and it's something my husband and I both use. So that was like the exception to the rule, but like I have a billion protein powders. So there's a list of other brands that I would like to try. I have no need to buy any of those things. It doesn't matter what other sale comes around or anything because my husband's not going to be using them. He uses the Be Well by Kelly products. So I have no reason to buy any new bars, any new protein powders, any new chia basil seed things, any new and different supplements until I am out of the ones that are currently in our house. I have this habit of obtaining all of the things all at once, and I consume them at about a quarter to an eighth of the speed that I obtain them. I still have Eat Me Guilt-Free brownies that I have not eaten. And at first it was because I was rationing them, and now it's because I prioritize other things over the Eat Me Guilt-Free brownie. You know what I mean? And so I don't need any of those things. The exceptions are healthy eating on the go bars because we both eat those every single day. I need to replenish them. And with the Be Well by Kelly protein being the exception because my husband was out of protein powder, so we needed to get some for him because this is the one he uses. The next thing I am eliminating from my purchasing during 3 months of Thrifty is unnecessary makeup and skincare products. This tends to happen with launches, and the thing that made me go, you need to rein it in on this is when I went out and bought the entire Harry Potter ColourPop collection. I bought the whole thing because I couldn't decide which pieces I actually wanted. So I was like, you know what? It's Harry Potter. It's a collectible. I'm going to buy the entire freaking thing. I won't lie. I'm glad I did. I'm loving the products in it. So I got really lucky there. But did I need the whole thing? No, I did not. And do I need anything more? No, I do not. And the same goes for like new and innovative skincare products. I don't need any of those. I currently have a routine of what cleansers and moisturizers and serums and masks work for me. I do not need to branch out with one exception. In order to replace going to see the facialist for a chemical peel, I did have to find and obtain an at-home version of a chemical peel. So I settled on, for now, the Drunk Elephant Baby Facial. And I have been using that not as often as I should. You're supposed to use it every single week, and I have not been doing that. But I've been using it. And when I'm on point with doing that, I am replacing one of the more expensive things with a less expensive, albeit still expensive. This baby facial is like $80, but you get multiple uses out of it, right? Instead of a $150 single facial. I needed to fill that void. So now I have my acne facials. I have my chemical peel. I have all my serums, my cleansers, my moisturizers, my toners. I have everything. So I don't need a new launch, a new kit, a new this, a new that. Lord knows I don't need any more makeup. I'm actually working on paring down the makeup that I have. So eventually my goal is to have like one liquid foundation and one powder foundation that I buy on repeat. One brand of blushes that I buy on repeat. And I'm getting there. So I don't need to obtain anything anymore for now. The next thing I'm giving up is unnecessary snack and dessert purchases from the grocery store. Like I said earlier, I'm very good at, I'll go to the grocery store, I get all the healthy food, I get all the food on our list, but then I'll walk up and down the aisles, I'll see the seasonal stuff and I'll go, ooh, you have to come home with me. And then I will walk down the candy aisle. Why? I didn't even need to go down the candy aisle to begin with, but I will still go down there and then I will say, ooh, they just came out with milk chocolate salted caramels. I need to try those too. Actually, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for that because Target's brand actually did come out with milk chocolate salted caramels instead of dark chocolate, and I have yet to bring a bag of them home. I think I deserve a round of applause for that one. They're gonna come home, but not until I'm out of everything else that's already in the house. So I'm very good at getting those really random off purchases, or the Hue chocolate bar, or the Tony Chocolonely chocolate bar. You throw one in every time you go to the grocery store, and you go to the grocery store twice a week, you're obtaining and spending more than you need to be spending, right? So the goal is to stick to the list. Stick to the list. Exclusively stick to the list. And if I am contemplating something like a cookie or whatever, let's say I go, oh, I want those Oreos. I have to stop and I have to go, are there any other cookies in the house? Could you make this yourself for cheaper and better? If the answer is no to both of those questions, then you can get the thing, right? But I'm not gonna go and I'm not gonna buy 2 other kinds of cookies if I already have 2 cookies in the house, or crackers, or chips, or whatever the case might be. Eat up what's in the house first. That's all I gotta do. That's all I gotta do for this thrifty thing. It's just not buy while there's already some in the house. Once there's none left, I can go and buy whatever cookie I want. Next thing I'm giving up is clothing purchases. I have no need for clothes right now. None. Zero. There's no reason for me to be buying clothes for 2 reasons. 1, Christmas is right around the corner, and if I want something for Christmas, I can ask for it. And 2, I really need to buckle down on the fitness and the lifting and the toning and the whatever. And once I get back on the bandwagon the way I need to get back on the bandwagon, and it's gonna happen, I won't need clothes because everything's gonna fit me beautifully again. I have a closet full of clothes, and the reason that I feel compelled to buy clothes is because not everything fits me perfectly right now. But if I take the steps to make everything fit me perfectly, I won't need to buy clothes anymore. So just suck it up and do the work instead of going out and buying the clothes, which I know is completely contrary to the body positive movement and the whatever, and like go buy the clothes. Like if I need a pair of jeans because I don't have a pair of jeans that fits, I'm gonna buy a pair of jeans. But I have jeans that fit. I have shorts that fit. I have sweaters that fit. I have pajamas that fit. I have everything that I need fits. Everything I need fits. So I don't need anything right now. Another thing I'm giving up is unnecessary, or actually most, if not all, home decor purchases. I don't need any home decor stuff right now. Once we get back from the holidays and start plotting and planning and whatever the case may be, that is the time. Right now is not the time. And this is very specifically because I have the urge to buy Christmas decorations and Christmas stuff for the house all the time when we're not even going to be here. Why do I need Christmas decorations if I'm not putting Christmas decorations up? I don't know. So like a hard ban on the home decor stuff helps me stay in control of myself. The last thing I'm giving up is unnecessary course and business purchases. I am done purchasing courses, purchasing random, completely unnecessary. Well, I don't want to say unnecessary because I do benefit from the things that I'm purchasing, but I'm not using them. And so until I sit there and use up all the things I have, including coursework and, little like Trello boards and Notion templates and all these other things that I've purchased throughout the last 2 years, I don't need to be purchasing anymore. Before I go, ooh, that course looks good, be like, actually go back and see if you don't already have access to similar information in something that you have already paid for. So that is a hard stop on the courses and business stuff for a while. So that being said, that's like the kind of generic list of things that I'm intentionally giving up. But what is still allowed? What am I still allowed to go and do and spend on during these 3 months of thrifty? Items that I need to replace or that I run out of. So this is, I'm starting to see in the one pair of jeans I wear a lot, the inner thigh is starting to get a little bit frayed. If a hole starts developing in that, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna buy the same pair of jeans because I like that pair of jeans and I need one without holes in it. But like, when waiting until that happens and to go and do it. I don't just have like 5 on stockpile, but if there's a hole in something that I wear regularly, I'm gonna go buy a new one. If I run out of my favorite foundation or primer, I'm gonna go buy more, or hair product, I'm gonna go buy more. Groceries required for healthy meals. No scrimping as long as it is something we need. So I'm not pulling the purse strings tight enough where we're like, oh, we have to buy all the budget, or we can't buy all the healthier food and whatever options. Where we don't need to scrimp in terms of quality food to feed and fuel ourselves well. The restriction comes in at the frivolous stuff and maybe the not so healthy stuff that we don't necessarily need. Eyebrow waxes. No, I'm not letting myself get facials, but there is some bodily maintenance that still needs to happen, and an eyebrow wax is definitely one of those things. I tend to get eyebrow waxes every time that I'm at my facialist, but since I'm not going to see her, I have to do it elsewhere. I try to get an eyebrow wax done every 4 to 6 weeks. I have not been on that schedule, but it is one of those things that, like, my business is my face, right? So like that's also an argument for the facials, but like really I like to make sure that my eyebrows are as clean as possible, and I maintain them pretty well, but every once in a while they need a little professional upkeep. Date nights and dinners out. This is definitely something that we are not scrimping on. Quality time together, date night experiences, nice dinners and stuff are very, very important to us. So it's not something that needs to be given up for the sake of a thrifty 3 months. For my business, subscriptions that I actually need and use. So for example, I'm not getting rid of like my website hosting or my domain name or my email marketing software or my Instagram planning software. All of the month-to-month subscriptions that I actually use and need to run my business, I'm not getting rid of. And then I'm also not getting rid of being generous for Christmas shopping. Buying gifts is one of my biggest joys. I love being able to give people what they want, what they need for Christmas. And so because I'm making the intentional choice to be thrifty doesn't mean I'm going to be super frugal with gifting. Now, of course, if I can get things at a discount or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna do it because your girl has always been a frugal shopper when it comes to looking for the best deals. But I'm not going to scrimp on Christmas gifting simply because I personally chose to pull back on unnecessary spending. In my mind, Christmas shopping is very necessary spending. So ultimately, the whole point in all of this is for me to be a lot more mindful and intentional about what I'm spending my money on. Just because I can buy something doesn't necessarily mean I should, and that is something that I'm leaning into really heavily. And ultimately, the goal of these thrifty 3 months and being super intentional about it is that these habits and that mindset rolls over into a permanent way, a permanent mindset when it comes to spending. I don't want to take anything to some crazy extreme unless of course that ends up being necessary, but I want to prove to myself like, hey, you don't always have to impulse shop and buy these things, or hey, you don't always need to go out and buy this, or hey, you don't need 4 kinds of cookies in your house. And once I can actually get that habit and that routine in my head and in my body, then overall it's a big change of the money mindset, right? It's a big change of spending habits overall, and that is ultimately the goal that I am working towards. So those are my thoughts on my 3 months to thrifty challenge. It's just something I'm doing for me. My husband doesn't actually even know that I'm doing it. It's just me being more intentional about how I spend my money. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as it really does help me out. And if you want to join the Diva and the Divine community, we would love to have you. Just click that little red subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.